Hello there, everyone. This is Forrest coming at you. It's time for your Just for Today encouraging word. It's going to be a good one. Faithful feelings. Do you ever have faithful feelings? I know we always have some kind of feelings, but when you have faithful feelings, those feel a little bit better sometimes, don't they? When we refuse to accept the reality of today, we are denying faith in our higher power. This can only bring more suffering. When we refuse to accept the reality of today, when we refuse to take responsibility for the words that come out of our mouth and keep on denying and blaming everybody else for our problems and complaining about things and just murmuring and crying and backbiting and complaining, when we refuse to accept the reality of today, we are denying faith in our higher power. This can only bring more suffering. God has so much in store for us. If we would say, okay, God, what do you want me to learn from all this that's going on in my life? And just say, no matter what, I'm going to praise you. And God don't care if you tell him about your problems and say, God, this hurts. This sucks. Lord, how long do I have to go through this? And the one question that I finally learned after, 18 years of addiction in my life and suffering, I learned to ask God, what do you want me to learn from this? Because I'm tired of going through it. Some days just aren't the way we wish they would be. Our problems may be as simple as a broken shoelace or having to stand in line at the supermarket. You ever get all twisted having to stand in line at the supermarket? Because the world has trained us to have a microwave mentality. Gotta get it done fast, gotta go. Don't have enough time to do anything. Or we may experience something far more serious, such as the loss of a job, a home, or a loved one. When you lose a loved one, that's pretty devastating. Either way, we often end up looking for a way to avoid our feelings instead of simply acknowledging that those feelings are painful. How often are we taught to talk about painful feelings? Can you imagine how much our upbringing would have been different or better if we would have learned how to talk about painful feelings? I never learned how to talk about painful feelings until now, and even now it's tough to talk about them. No one promises us that everything will go our way when we stop using. When we stop using, okay, everything's gonna get better. No, don't have that. I'm not promising you when you get better. I still have crap that goes on in my life, excuse me. No one promises us that everything will go our way when we stop using. In fact, we can be sure that life will go on whether we're using or not. See, whether you're using or not, life's gonna go forward. The crap's gonna happen and the good stuff's gonna happen. Just the more you focus and take responsibility for your actions and the words that come out of your mouth, the more God can work in your life. But if I'm not taking responsibility and saying, okay, God, your word says this, Lord. Your word says that you have a future and a hope for me. What do I got to do, Lord, to get into the hope that you have for me? We will face good days and bad days, comfortable feelings and painful feelings. But we don't have to run from any of them any longer. See, God's word says that we live by faith, not by feelings. If you're living by feelings, you're living by fear. And you do know that you don't. The world does have a just do it if it feels right mentality, right? You don't do it just because it feels right, because some things that feel right are wrong. We can experience pain, grief, sadness, anger, frustration, all those feelings we once avoided with drugs. I used to drink away those feelings and smoke away those feelings and just mess up my responsibility and just cry and complain. Well, I wouldn't have stolen that. Well, I wouldn't have done this if I was drunk, or I wouldn't have done this. Well, you did do it. We find that we can get through these emotions clean. We won't die, And the world won't come to an end just because we have uncomfortable feelings. We learn to trust that we can survive what each day brings. When we learn to talk about painful emotions and trust that we can survive each day, let me tell you, Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your paths straight. So if I trust in the Lord with all my heart and lean not on my own feelings or on all of my own ways that I think is right, but I trust in the Lord with all my heart and what his word says for my life, and lean not on my own understanding, guess what? He's going to direct my path. And that's what I've been trying to do my best for the past 21 years of my sobriety, walking with Jesus. So just for today, I will demonstrate my trust in God by experiencing this day just as it is. So just this day as it is pretty tough sometimes. But if you reach out to someone, text me, text a friend, when you're having a hard time and you're having painful feelings, just reach out to someone, or you can talk to God and say, God, these painful feelings hurt, Lord. I don't know how to get rid of these painful feelings, but I really wish you'd help me, Lord. And when you say that, he's going to help you and he's going to teach you. And I promise you, because I've been doing this for, since December 8th of 2000. And he has never failed me, and my life has never been more peaceful. Well, I mean, sometimes it's ruckus, but the peace I have in the midst of my ruckus, I know that God can do the same for you. And if you ever need help with that, feel free to message me, or if you need a word of encouragement, message me too, and I'll try to make a video about it. Y'all take care. Bless you. Bye.